Today, we're going to unpack a pretty monumental shift that's happening in the global economy, India's massive regulatory transformation. We're going to get into what this huge overhaul means for businesses everywhere and, how it's actually being pulled off. So let's just start with this one single massive number. Between 2014 and 2025, India pulled in nearly $750 billion in foreign direct investment. That's a staggering figure, right? So the big question is how? How did this happen? What exactly changed to make the country such a magnet for global capital? Well, to put that number into perspective, that $748 billion, that's 143% increase over the entire previous 11-year period. I mean, this wasn't just a little bump. And it's not just about foreign money either. On the ground, the number of active registered companies shot up by 27% in just 5 years. This was absolutely not an accident. It was the result of a deliberate, sustained effort. Yeah, all this growth is the direct outcome of a huge business makeover, a really conscious, ongoing transformation of the country's entire regulatory landscape. And if you want to understand the strategy, a great place to look is the most recent budget. It really lays out a clear and focused blueprint for the future of business in India. So the whole strategy is basically built on 5 key pillars. You've got digital trade, tax certainty, reduced compliance, trust-based customs, and an investment-friendly tax regime. Think of these as the 5 core principles designed to dismantle old obstacles and build a much more efficient, modern system. All right, so let's dive into that first pillar. A huge part of this reform is focused on modernizing the systems that govern trade and customs, basically making the entire process way faster and a whole lot easier. A really key innovation here is something called deferred duty payment. In a nutshell, it's a clear first, pay later system. And this simple shift, it's a total game changer. It means a company can get its parts off the ship and onto the factory floor immediately without getting stuck waiting for duty payments to clear. For modern just-in-time manufacturing and smart cash flow, this is absolutely crucial. And this all builds on a totally new philosophy of trust. For reliable or trusted importers, the whole process becomes incredibly streamlined. After a simple online registration, the system automatically tells customs what's up, allowing goods to be cleared almost the second they arrive. This just completely eliminates those lengthy, costly waits at the port. You see the big theme here, right? It's a relentless push towards digitization and speed. We're talking about a single digital window for all cargo approvals, a new customs integrated system, and a lot more AI-powered scanning to cut down on physical checks. And for those trusted businesses, it even means more financial breathing room, with the duty deferral period being doubled to 30 days. Okay, but it's really important to get this. These reforms, they don't just stop at the border. They're part of a massive nationwide push to cut red tape and simplify the rules for every single business. And this represents a fundamental shift in thinking. I mean, it used to be that tiny procedural mistakes could be treated as criminal offenses, which created this whole culture of fear and litigation. The new approach decriminalizes these small errors, replacing potential jail time with simple fines. It's all about building trust and letting businesses focus on growth, not drowning in bureaucracy. And listen, this isn't just a concept. It's happening on a huge scale. The Jan Vishwas Act, which literally translates to the Public Trust Act, decriminalized 183 different provisions across 42 different laws. This is a deliberate, systematic takedown of outdated and frankly punitive rules. So what's the result of all that? Well, it's this number. Over 47,000. That's how many compliance burdens have been reduced nationwide as of late 2025. Every single one of those is a form that no longer needs to be filed, a license that doesn't need renewing, or a rule that an entrepreneur doesn't have to worry about accidentally breaking. It's a massive removal of roadblocks. What's so fascinating is that this isn't just a top-down thing. It's a nationwide effort, with individual states driving their own really smart innovations. So for example, you have Andhra Pradesh simplifying land conversion rules. Chhattisgarh is now using third-party experts to speed up building plan approvals. Gujarat opened up more industries to women. And Tripura rolled out a whole package of reforms that brought in major new investment. So when you step back, you see this multi-pronged strategy in action. You've got the national-level digital portals, state-led innovation, a focus on building trust by getting rid of criminal penalties for small stuff, and just this relentless drive to reduce the compliance burden for everyone. Okay, so this brings us to the big picture. Let's connect all these individual reforms back to the overall goal and the kind of impact they're having on the economy. And it goes even deeper than that. We're talking about huge structural reforms happening at the same time. For instance, 29 separate labor laws have been streamlined into just 4 simplified codes, making it so much easier to hire and manage a workforce. A new version of the Goods and Services Tax, GST 2.0, is simplifying the entire tax system. And even the central bank is doing a massive cleanup, consolidating over 9,000 complex circulars into just 238 clear, straightforward directives. So what's the end game here? Ultimately, the goal of all these efforts is to forge a business ecosystem that is predictable, efficient, and competitive on a global scale. It's really about making India an indispensable link in global supply and value chains. And you see how it all feeds back into itself, right? It creates this incredible virtuous cycle. Faster trade and simpler rules lead to more business growth. And that growth, in turn, attracts that incredible level of foreign investment that we saw at the very beginning. You know, it's a massive undertaking, and the implications are pretty profound, which leaves us with one final crucial question. As this huge economy continues to systematically simplify its rules and become more and more efficient, how is it going to ultimately reshape the future of global business?